Hey guys, what's up? It's Zyflin here, and today we're going to be talking about content drought in Warframe. Now, I just want to start this video off by saying that this video is in no way, shape, or form a response or take on any other content creators' posts or opinions. In all honesty, I have not watched any of the Warframe rant videos that have been coming out recently, nor do I plan to. The reason for this being is because I've been in the YouTube content creation and Twitch content creation game long enough with Warframe alone to know when exactly these types of videos or posts are going to surface, because I was guilty of it at a point too whenever I was a smaller creator. Back in August 2016, I made a video simply titled The Warframe Rant, where I expressed my concerns for the lack of daily content and incentive to play game modes such as the sorties. I took a very analytical approach to that video, pointing out that whenever Warframe had their peak player count, Warframe content creators like myself also had their peak viewer count. This argument can be made even stronger with the release of PoE back in October of 2017 and all of the content that came out for Warframe a few months after, such as Plaguestar, etc. October following through to December 2017 were my best months hands down as a Warframe YouTuber and Warframe Twitch streamer in terms of viewership, engagement, and revenue prior to the Tenocom reveals back in July of this year. All the concerns that I had in my Warframe rant video that I posted 2 years ago were addressed and made it into the game sometime later. Not in the exact form that I personally spoke about, but in DE's own version. With all of that being said, what is the actual point of this video? Well, it's to remind you guys that just because Warframe has a dip in its player count because of lack of content does not instantly mean that the game is dying or is going to die. If we base whether or not a game or channel is dying based off their analytics alone, my YouTube channel started to die halfway through January this year because that was my first dip in viewership, engagement, revenue, etc. But in reality, my YouTube channel and Twitch channel for that matter are both in a better state than I have ever been in before. Content drought is not an issue that is unique to just Warframe. It is in pretty much every PvE game with progression where you hit this wall where you're too powerful for content to be challenging, and the rewards that you get from the content just don't feel rewarding because they don't outpower your current gear. This was a major problem with the release of Destiny 2. Nothing felt rewarding, people kept on getting duplicate weapons, and you hit the power ceiling pretty quickly, which is why people were naturally annoyed with the release of D2. They came from this game that was developed so much to the point that you could endlessly grind for that god roll weapon or that god roll piece of gear, and they were presented with a very dumbed down version of that, which, like SkillUp said in one of his reviews, feels like it was a product of focus group testing. People were naturally annoyed and dissatisfied. It didn't mean that the game was dead. Analytics are just analytics, not something that you use to measure the success or failure of a product or service. Of course, you can to a degree if you look at it entirely from a business standpoint, but there is a lot more to creative content and video game development than just how many viewers or players we pull with every update or video post, or how long a player continues to stay or a viewer continues to watch. You also need to take into account other things such as people returning to work or school, people taking a break from gaming for the sake of their own health, and a plethora of other things. With creative content in general, such as games, videos, movies, TV series, what the person takes from their experience consuming said content is what matters. So if I make a video that for some reason inspires someone to make their own YouTube channel, and that person finds happiness, enjoyment, or a career path out of that, you could call that success, right? If a game development studio makes a free-to-play video game that anyone could play and it gives players at the very least 300 to 500 hours of free content and they enjoy that content, that could also be considered success because the player enjoyed their time and they got that enjoyment for entirely free. This is something that is very rare in today's gaming market. The gaming scene is very much controlled by the big AAA publishers such as EA or Activision. These game publishers practically set the trend for how other developers and publishers treat their consumers. Most game developers would look at EA or Activision and try their best to mimic their strategies by cutting content, selling season passes, loot boxes, etc. But I feel that the fact that we have developers out there like Digital Extremes is something to be respected, and we definitely shouldn't take it for granted, especially when they're trying their hardest to deliver us free content, no matter how good or bad it is, on a somewhat regular basis. players. The only reason I'm really making this video is to remind people that this should never turn into an us versus them scenario where it is the community versus DE, because that's the vibe that I've been getting from some of the recent comments on videos, Twitch streams, and on Twitter. People feel that we need to band together to demand content from the developers, and that YouTubers and Twitch streamers should make more ranty content to force DE to do new things and fix old stuff. And I can tell you from past experience that that just doesn't work. Back in 2016, we all banded together to ask for a more fun, replayable game mode for veterans. We eventually got it. That game mode is Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. It's a fun, rewarding game mode, but people still aren't satisfied with that. Most of the time, we as consumers don't actually know what we want until we get it whenever it comes to creative content. Take, for example, Realjacked. Absolutely no one expected that from the Tenno Live reveal, and everyone lost their minds whenever they showed it. By constantly saying to DE that we need more content, or we need more replayable content, or you need to fix the frame and do XYZ to that frame, we're just telling them things that they pretty much already know. Don't take that comment the wrong way. I'm not saying the DE should be exempt from any and all forms of criticism, but what I am saying is that making a huge deal out of things and blowing them up to the point where you're literally harassing a content creator such as myself, or any other Warframe content creator for that matter, to make a video inciting a mob mentality versus DE, you're not really doing any favors for the community, because like I said, we're practically telling them things that they already know, and you're also making it seem as if the game has very little content to someone who does not know any better, which just isn't true. They admitted on the dev stream that the game is in a content drought right now for us higher end players, and that they are doing what they can to fix that as we speak by pushing out a mainline update and focusing their efforts on Fortuna, which should have months worth of content if PoE is anything to base it off. Giving DE respectful, concise feedback on places such as the forums or Reddit, and even in a one-on-one conversation if the opportunity presents itself, is the best way to go. Making a video that shows a detailed analysis on a current problem and offers up other ways to fix said problem is also an option, but I just can't get on board with making a ranty style video to force the developers to make content for me, when the developers are the reason that I have a career. They're the reasons that I've enjoyed my afternoons for the past 5 years, and they are also the reason that I've made so many friends from different places in the world, and the reason that I'm more of a confident speaker because of the whole YouTube and Twitch thing that I couldn't have achieved if it weren't for their game. So to answer the question, Flynn, will you make a video roasting DE to bring out more content? The answer is no, because my community and I know that there is going to be content waiting right around the corner for us. We also know that DE are one of the only developers that we have in today's day and age that are willing to revolutionize and innovate the gaming industry by giving us the absolute unthinkable, all for entirely free. And for that reason alone, that's why I put my full faith in the DE that they will deliver content that is enjoyable and worth my time when it's ready. I'm also confident that everyone else new or old to Warframe will enjoy it too. So do I think that Warframe is failing? No, we have more content in this game than we ever had in the past. Do I think Warframe content creation on Twitch or YouTube is failing? Definitely not. Warframe YouTubers and Warframe Twitch streamers are pulling more consistent views on both platforms than they ever have before. Hell, people in the Warframe directory on Twitch itself are able to live off how much they make just from streaming Warframe, myself included. With all of that being said, Warframe is not a perfect game. It can definitely get very boring trying to play it when you reach the point that I am at. This is further emphasized to me as I stream the game 8 hours a day from Tuesday to Sunday. I actively struggle sometimes to find enjoyable things to do. What I would like to see is more daily content that gives us some fun or rewarding rewards, which hopefully the new Elite Alert system does and doesn't disappoint us with. I feel that daily content is the way to go moving forward, even though the game already has a lot of daily content in it already, such as daily syndicate missions, invasions, sorties, rep farming, etc. They just need to have better rewards in there, such as Riven mods. I'm even fine earning Kuva, Endo, sculptures, etc. from my sorties or other daily content, because that makes me feel rewarded, because I'm going to use it later on. Of course, giving the players too much of these things would make them feel less rewarding, but that's the great thing about Warframe. The game is constantly developing and giving us new things to use our existing resources on. So I mean, we can continue to complain about how we have nothing to do in Warframe, but it's not going to make DE work any faster. We can continue to say that DE should do this or DE should do that, but very little of us have any experience running a company of their size. We can keep on making insane apples to orange comparisons like Warframe should copy Fortnite's model. I shit you not, that is an actual comparison that a viewer has spoke to me about. Even though one is a heavily replayable PvP game and the other is a PvE game, don't even bring up Fortnite Save the World mode, because that, in all honesty, is a joke. And this is coming from someone who bought into the marketing material and helped find Fortnite by buying the most expensive Finder package. But yeah, Warframe needs more content, but they always deliver eventually. They continue to blow me away without having to say a single word to them, and I can't express how grateful I am to be a part of this community and be a partner with their game. Let me know what you guys think about the entire content drought issue. Are people getting a little bit too heated about it? Do you not care? Do you just play another game? Talk to me in the comment section below. In the comments, put "thank you DE" at the end, just to let me know that I'm actually talking to someone who watched the entire video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.